Welcome to the Man Cave Podcast. This is your escape for real, unscripted conversations about sports, hobbies, life, and storytelling. No scripts, no forced takes, just Man Cave talk. Now, here's your host, Dan Kasper.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Man Cave Podcast. Myself, Brandon, is over there. What are you laughing at now?
Oh, not much.
Okay, just randomly?
Just
Okay, that's fine. So,
like a baby sometimes. Something just pops in my head and I start smiling for no reason.
what do babies think? Everybody thinks they know, like they'll do these scientific. They don't know what the heck they're thinking.
They're probably just judging us, thinking, stop making that face.
They don't know how to. Do babies talk to themselves in their head like we do, or because
do
they
babies
can't
have an
talk?
internal monologue?
But they don't know how to talk yet. So
Yeah,
how can they talk to themselves?
Goo goo gaga.
But I'm serious.
Yeah.
You know, when does that part develop? Nobody talks about that. When do you start talking to yourself in your head?
I was probably at a very early age, I'll be honest.
I don't know. When was the first time that you remember talking to yourself in the head? I don't remember. I don't either. So, all right, just random tangents.
Boy, we are coming out strong.
Happy Valentine's Day to all those who celebrate.
Yeah.
So, or did you at school, really quick, for Valentine's Day? We did this in high school. I don't know if this would fly anymore. Compatibility tests.
I don't know if we ever did.
We did, and you had to pay like $1 or $3 to get your results. But then it would, so we all took like a test, and then if you wanted to see who your perfect match was, they gave you a list of 10 of the opposite gender of who your perfect match was.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if you can get away with that anymore, but it was like, back in our day.
Well, there was like 44 people in my graduating class, so that
this was the whole school.
Oh,
it wasn't just your grade, so it was like ninth through senior, freshman through senior.
Now I can see a little bit more. I don't know if this is necessarily.
Yeah, but it was okay. I'm pretty sure maybe it was only grade, but we also had, maybe it wasn't, because we had 250, I think, in our class. So.
Yeah, because Medford's bigger than Thorpe.
Yeah, so I thought maybe it was but maybe it was grade. Now that I'm thinking of it, but I think about that once in a while. I'm like,
I've never heard of that.
Oh yeah. It was probably a big moneymaker.
I'm sure, because everyone wanted to know.
And that might have...
You get some loser like me, I'd probably be paying that $3 to see.
Yeah, I did pay a couple times just to see it. Nothing ever transpired. And then you got people like, oh, that's disgusting.
It's just a test like anything.
Test, so. But, no, I don't think they still do that. I don't think you could probably get away with it. It wasn't
That's also a lot of work.
It was like 10 questions or 20 questions, and then... they had to print out the results. Now it's probably like instant it's probably like what those magazines that people take tests and you could just cross-reference. I can still picture how it
Is your man a stud or a dud?
Yeah. It's like the...
Hey, Cosmo?
Did you like Home Alone, not Home Improvement one when Tim creates one?
No.
Oh, yeah. Like there's an episode like his wife Jill did one of those. Mm-hmm. So him and the guys created one. Yeah. It was
nice.
Yeah, it was really good. Don't ever do that again. You can't do it.
I can't.
One of the more underrated TV sitcoms of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Home
Improvement, very solid.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so on this episode, speaking of Valentine's Day, sports-wise, we're going to talk about heartbreaks and maybe a little bit of sports love.
It's funny because I brought this up before, but literally like the minute before we're going on air for this, it just dawned on me that's why we're doing this.
Tells you how much you care about that day, right?
Story of my life.
What we did talk about this at one point. We were going to do
I think we ranked our biggest ones.
That's not where I was going. Was not where I was going. But I was going to say we had talked about at one point doing which holiday is the best with candy.
Yes, that's right.
Because this is another one of those.
Another candy holiday.
Because you have Halloween, you have Valentine's Day, you have Easter, you have Christmas. Do we need, what would be, or do we just got to do the 4? I don't know of another one. It's not St. Patrick's Day because that's adult candy.
Yeah. Well,
you got gold coins, I guess, for the kids, but still.
I mean,
There really isn't another one.
I mean, I feel like Halloween's going to be the obvious one.
I disagree.
But I
Not
would
my
go.
pick.
I would go Easter.
Mm-hmm.
I would go Easter.
Me too. 100% Easter.
Yeah, I would go Easter.
Yep. Halloween's got all the extra pub, and marketing to it, but
I want to just give me a big chocolate Easter bunny.
yeah,
I can gnaw off his 8 years.
Yep. I totally agree. Sixlets. I know you hate
Ugh.
those. I know.
Ugh.
Come
Gross.
on. What's wrong with them?
I don't know. I don't like them.
They're literally just chocolate balls with a thinner candy shell
I
that
don't
melt
know why
better.
I don't like them, but I visualize them and I don't like them.
I love those. In the packaging, you just open it and you just like go from one. It's like
if you're gonna be
toothpaste.
circular candy that's chocolate with an outside, just be an M&M.
These are softer.
Oh,
Chocolate is soft. It's not as hard. I like M&Ms better when they come out of the freezer though too. So I just completely went against my argument for sixlets.
you
But
did, but like I don't know. I feel like as I've gotten older, I finally grew to respect the tech of putting your candy in the freezer.
mm-hmm.
Like I don't know why when I did when I was younger.
I know.
But like,
or in the or
like
the
for
fridge.
me, like the best is like a Reese's Fast Break.
See, I can't have that.
Yeah, but
Hershey's candy bar in the fridge for a little
yeah,
bit.
oh no, yeah, just enough to where it's
Mm-hmm.
you can pull it apart, just get that pop to it.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yep. Totally agree. Even like the ones with caramel inside too, just so it's a little less.
Yes.
messy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But no. Back to topics at hand.
We'll get on topic eventually.
Eventually. So sports are also filled with heartbreak along with love. We all love sports, but with that has to come heartbreak. There's your motivational quote for the day. With love comes heartbreak. So sports world is it fair to say that as a sports fan, you have probably suffered more heartbreak than enthusiasm and joy? Not you in general, not just you specifically, but in general.
I was gonna say,
you, yes.
I was going to say me, yes. What's that supposed to mean?
But, because really, you think about it, we just got done with Super Bowl. Only one fan base is happy.
Right.
So odds are, you, as a sports fan, you have probably suffered more heartbreak than excitement or
Joy.
love or joy. Thank you. Yes. So
Yeah, I think that's fair.
yeah. So with that, kind of just jumping right into it, you, sir, are like Mr. Heartbreak of all over because you are a Brewers fan.
Okay.
You are a Vikings fan.
I'm a Badgers fan.
You are a Badgers fan.
I don't get very many wins.
You had one during your
And the
lifetime.
Bucks.
You have
And
the
then
Bucks.
I do count the Penguins because I am a Penguins. Like
I don't. You're not a diehard. I haven't seen you wear any Penguins gear.
I have Penguin stuff
You don't wear it when I see you.
because you only see me here.
Well, you always wear either a Vikings or a Brewers or Badgers or Bucks.
Yeah,
And
I still have Penguin
I
stuff.
question that. By the way, I saw a penguin died at the Racine Zoo, and I thought of you.
What'd you do?
I just saw it in the news, and I thought
I
of
know
you.
Racine had a zoo.
I didn't either. I thought that was too close to Milwaukee.
There.
Hey, Marshfield has a zoo. Okay, no offense to Marshfield, but they got a zoo. Chippewa Falls has a zoo.
Yeah, Irvine Park.
Yeah, Irvin. It is pronounced Irvin. Oh yes. Don't make me get Murph in here and
Is this the same
educate
people
you.
that pronounce it Chippewa Falls?
No,
instead of
this
Chippewa?
is. I'll show you off the air.
Okay.
This. It is a thing. Yes, you need to
Just
know
saying,
this.
as someone that lives in the community, this is
Oh,
not
I know.
what I hear.
Oh, okay. All right. So we'll educate you.
Is that a
after
silent
this.
E?
Yes. Yes. I'm not giving you a hard time.
I believe you.
Okay. All right. But look it up because I remember somebody there was a big deal about it a few years ago, and yeah, that's actually how it's supposed to be pronounced. I'm not kidding.
There are a lot of people that are doing it wrong then.
Oh, I know. I don't like pronouncing it that way. Yeah. See? Irvin.
That's just AI overview.
But it's still okay. This is from WQOW. Friday, the great-grandson of William Irvin, the man who founded and donated the land to the city of Chippewa Falls, was here to set the record straight. Douglas Irvin Richards said people have been saying the name wrong for years. It's kind of funny because I've been hearing it that way for a long time. I try to correct people when I can politely do it. It's not something you just want to go up to and shake them and say, but you got to do what you got to do. I think it's time the public knows it's Irvin. ER-VIN. You're welcome. So you don't get in trouble. Maybe you run into him in Chippewa since you live over there.
I don't know. I think I might rather get him mad than everybody else in Chippewa Falls.
All right. Can we get back on topic now?
With all due respect.
Yeah. Can we get back on topic now?
Eventually.
So, okay. Heartbreaks. Let's get sad now. What would you say is the biggest heartbreak you've suffered as a sports fan?
The one that I felt the worst after was the Badgers losing to Duke in the 2015 men's basketball championship game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think part of that too was you knew that was it. Like Wisconsin made the Final Four the year before, lost in the semis, and a late shot against Kentucky. But that one you just knew, like, okay, if it wasn't this group, it's probably not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the manner in which it did, where they were up, was it 10 in the second half? Yeah. I think it was. The manner in which it felt like, from a Badger fan's perspective, the game was officiated very differently between the halves.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Duke. I mean, let's be honest. If that had happened against Iowa State, it wouldn't have hurt as bad. But it was Duke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, it was just all of those factors. You've talked about this before. That Badgers team was so much fun to root for, so easy to cheer for, with all the different personalities and players on that team.
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt like, oh my gosh, if it didn't happen now, it's never going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is still to this day the last and probably the most. Like, I used to get down on, like, if Green Bay lost or something like that, and now I just, okay, they lose, yeah, it sucks, but then I move on pretty quick.
Yep.
But that one still, when I woke up the next morning and was still just like,
because you had the show to do, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to talk. Like, I didn't want to, I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to talk about it.
And this is one that would be a good conversation to have with Justice, because he was down with Chance Dickman. They were down in Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. He's told the story about, like, talking to these players after this, and look, as bad as we felt about it, they felt 100 times worse. Yeah. And you could tell, they've been very emotional on everything, and you understand why, but and you're trying to talk with people about this,
and I think it's just me, but the fact that it was so close and they had the lead too,
yes.
It'd probably be different.
Yeah.
Let's say you're dominated from the get-go, and then you it's like a slow death almost a little bit, sort of thing.
You kind of go through the stages of grief pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that, and watching it with some friends and just being like, remember that day vividly. Went down to Brewers opening day. And actually the only time in my life first of only 2 times in my life I've ever been okay leaving a Brewer game early. And that was because we wanted to hustle back to get back in time to watch the Badger game.
Yeah.
So we did. So, that would definitely be the most heartbreak.
Yeah, that's up there for me too.
And even say for both of us, even though like Badgers basketball is not, I wouldn't say our number one as far as our favorite team.
Yeah,
that one still hit the hardest.
From a program standpoint, yeah, it's not one of, but from just like a special year though, it's one of those weird things where it's one of my favorite seasons because of that team, of following that team. But then it ended on
There's so many memories I have of that. Like, I won't get into the details because I don't need to, but like, that Elite Eight game against Arizona, because that was like the second one. That was like an afternoon one.
Mm-hmm.
We were at one of my best friend's bachelor party, and we were watching that, and it was an experience. Let's just put it that way.
Nice.
So like that's something that's always fun to remember. And then like watching obviously the game where they beat Kentucky, the undefeated Kentucky, and it's just like this, like, holy cow, they actually did it. Like this. It's just. It was, and at that point, there's always that point where something happens and you're like, is this going to happen? Like, is this the team of destiny? Like,
and I feel like part of it for me too, what hurts the most,
Easy Rascal Flats.
The year before, with the way Kentucky beat them, because I really believe Wisconsin goes to play UConn, Wisconsin wins that championship game. Because that was the year it was an 8-7 seed too.
Mm-hmm.
And UConn ended up winning that one. And the fact that they probably would have won that game too is probably what hurts a little bit more too. What would you say is your biggest Brewers heartbreak? You reference 11 a lot.
I do. I think 11 more so than 18, because in 18, when they lost, even though that was a Game 7 versus a Game 6 in 2011, like in 18, I just had the feeling like, okay, like they're not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they haven't. They've been very competitive ever since. 2011, I think this is also kind of a product of what happens when you put all your eggs in the basket. They traded for Zach Greinke. They traded for Sean Markham. Prince Fielder was leaving as a free agent at the end of it. They knew that. Like, there were all of these things where you just knew, like, it's now or never. And on the one hand, that provides more drama, more excitement. You obviously were there for Game 5 of the NLDS when they beat the Diamondbacks. But that one was one where, I don't know, it just, like, in my lifetime, they had never been at that level. They had never been to that round.
Yep.
So they win the first 2 games of that series. Oh no,
they won the first one with Greinke.
The first one, sorry, they won the first one. My bad. But they won the first one. I remember I was watching with some friends and sitting on my friend's porch after they'd won, and he's older, so he was actually alive for 82. So we're talking, like, we just kind of look at each other like, the Brewers are 3 games from the World Series. Like, this is, I don't know how to react. But that was one where, it was Game 6. They lose the way they lose to against the Cardinals of all teams. Like, that one was one where I'm just like, you're just bummed. Just like, what do I do with this? Because at that time, you don't know, like, is it ever going to happen again? Because it took how long for them to have a winning record? It took how long for them to make the playoffs?
Yep.
It took how long for them to win a series?
Yep.
Like, that one definitely had more finality. Like, I was there for the Devin Williams blown save, and like, but that that's an opening round one. It's like, well, like that I was bummed. Like, that was a long 4-hour car ride home, and then
I feel like that one might have been really hard, but maybe a shorter recovery time, if that makes sense.
The thing that makes it hard in retrospect is knowing it was Euchre's last game.
Yeah.
That was, and then drove home and then was in here that next morning. Like, that one. There, I mean, I won't say the words on air, but there was just so many times I was driving home because I drove myself because I met some friends down there, and I'm just driving and I'm on 20 or on 94 somewhere, like, and I'm just like, and I would just say a couple words out loud, like, beep, beep, beep.
Yeah.
But that
I would say 11 for me too, because maybe part of it was, and this goes to the Packers side. Packers were defending champs. They were undefeated. The Badger football team with Russell Wilson.
That fall was so fun.
Yeah.
The Packers were coming out the Super Bowl, and that team was kicking all kinds of butt.
Yeah.
The like that Badgers team, that was the Russell Wilson year.
Yep.
So there was just
a lot.
There's a lot of juice
to be happy with.
Between those 3 teams, there's a lot of juice. Like, what was that? Because I think it was the opening weekend for the playoffs for the Brewers. Game 1 and 2 of the NLDS was on Saturday, Sunday. Like, that night, the Badgers hosted Nebraska in their first Big Ten game. And then I forget the Packers played the next day. But, like, that weekend is like an all-timer Wisconsin sports weekend when you factor those in.
Yeah. Yep. Because I remember the Game 6, too, because I had a chance to go, but I didn't because I was going to the Packers-Rams game that Sunday, and it was that night.
It was Sunday night. Yeah, it was Sunday night.
It was Game 6. And I still remember, like, the Ricky Weeks home run trying to claw back into it.
Yeah, they fall behind, but they got within, like, 1.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think Corey Hart hit, like, a leadoff home. Like, it was, and then it was like, and then I think the next inning or whatever, the Cardinals just put up a crooked number. So, like,
yeah. So, but 11 for me, because I think that was part of it. But, I still remember finding out about Zach Greinke trade. I'm like, okay, they're all going in, and we're the same age. So, 08 was awesome, but we were just happy to be there.
Like, at that, like, I remember watching, when they clinched the wild card, like, and, my roommates were all big Brewers fans too, but it was like, that was the win. Like, whatever happened in the playoffs didn't matter. And they won the 1 game. But, like, it would have been fun that year to see what they could have done if they still had Ben Sheets. Because remember, Ben Sheets got hurt right at the end of that season, last series.
Exactly.
Like, if you were able to throw him, Sabathia, Dave Bush, Giovanni
Gallardo at the early stage.
Those were your 4. Like, Jeff Suppan started that 4th game that they lost because he had to. Like, that one, at that point, it was gravy. It was just like, oh, my gosh, the Brewers are in the playoffs. I don't know what to do with my hands. I'm going to drink a beer because I'm a college kid.
Well, and then even like 11, I remember in the parking lot after that Diamondbacks one, we found out the Cardinals had beaten the Phillies, and we were like, home field. And then after we won the first game, I remember going out. I was living in Rapids, the bar, and one of the guys that worked there that we had come to know, and he was a big Brewers fan, he's like, are we about to go to the World Series? Like, should we? And we started looking at tickets.
And that, because I remember vividly too. Was at a friend's cabin. We were listening to the game on the radio, and just drinking, and it was
Mm-hmm.
It was a fun old time.
Yeah, in 18, I get it was a lot of fun.
Ew.
But part of it, I think, for me was whoever wins this series is not beating the Red Sox in the World Series.
That would have been a tough go of it. That would have been a tough go of it. Still, you would have liked that opportunity, but like,
yeah.
And then, yeah, like,
because I mean that was fun to see Woodruff hit the home run off Kershaw.
Great, yeah, that game one was a fun time. Like, that was one where I was actually in Ann Arbor because I went over there with some friends for the Badger Michigan game the next day, and we got there like we left Eau Claire super early because and other people agreed, but I'm like, because I want to get there and get settled in time for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not missing this.
Yeah.
So we got there, and then that game was a crazy game. I mean, that was even though the Brewers lost, that was a really fun series.
Yeah. But
like, yeah, it goes the full distance. Like in Game 7, Yelich hits the home run, in the first inning, so it's like, okay, they're up, and then it just gets away. The Chris Taylor catch, like I think it was the Yasiel Puig home run that those were kind of the two backbreakers, and
yep.
But yeah, like coming off that, even though I was disappointed, and even though that's the closest the Brewers have been to the World Series in my life, I didn't feel like this is the end of an era. Like I felt like, okay, this team could be back, and then that 2019 team, if not for the injuries, I would argue was one of the more underrated teams of the because remember that was when they still had the 2-team wild card. There's just the 5 that made it. Like that team with Yasmani Grandal and you had Moustakas for the full year. Like that was a legitimately really good team. But by the end of the year, obviously Yelich was hurt, Kane was banged up, Braun was banged up. Like that team just wasn't firing on all cylinders.
Right. How about really quick now? Did you have is there a Vikings one that kind of stands out to you the most?
Is there a Vikings one?
Got to pick one, though.
So here's how I will explain it. I was a little too young in 98. Like, I remember it, but I didn't understand the gravity of it. So, like, I just remember watching, like, oh, they lost, but they'll be back again. And, like, I had a teacher in middle school that was a Vikings fan, too, so I remember talking to her about it and stuff. But, like, 0-1 when they lost to the Giants 41 donut, like, that didn't even register. Like, that's one where they just got their butt kicked. Like, I mean, I guess it would be 09. I guess it would be the one with the Saints. Like, although
that one seems to bother you the most every time I've talked to you.
It's just because of Sean Payton. But I feel like the most upset I've ever been after a game, honestly, was in 03 when they lost the Nathan Poole game. Like and maybe it's because I was a little bit younger and you just you were probably a little more emotional then. But I was pissed.
Yeah.
But 09, that was one where I went back. I was still in college in Oshkosh. I was starting my last semester there. So I actually drove back to watch that game with my dad because my dad's the reason I'm a Vikings fan. He's a Vikings fan. So I went back to watch that with him. Obviously, the game the way it goes. And I just remember, like, when the game was done, like, I remember watching all the post-game stuff, all the celebrate, just, like, watching. Just being like, I don't know, just trying to take it in, whatever. Like, the Blair Walsh miss in 2015, like, I wasn't even so much I was mad. Like, I remember watching. I was watching with a friend, and he's just, they're getting ready to set for the field goal. So what do you think? I go, and I swear to you, I said this. I go, honestly, I think he's too close. I'd have more faith in Blair Walsh if he was kicking from 45 versus 28. Misses the kick. I go to the fridge. I pull out a bottle of Blackberry Brandon. I just take a gigantic pull. So go back, sit back down. I'm not yelling. I'm not screaming. I just go sit down. I get a text from my sister, and my sister she's not a Packer fan, she's not a Viking fan, she's a Colts fan. But she was cheering for the Vikings in that scenario. She goes, well, she's like, that really sucks. I'm like, yeah, and I just send her a message back. I go, it does. I go, but when you're a Vikings fan, you just get used to this kind of thing. And I'm just kind of like, and I don't ultimately. I mean, I don't. That Vikings team. It was a fun team. It was a flawed team. I mean, it's Teddy Bridgewater. Adrian Peterson kind of on his last legs. Like. Could they have, I think if they would have won, they would have went on the road to play Arizona. And they almost beat Arizona during the regular season. So it's like, maybe, but I don't know if they're getting by Carolina. Right. So it's like, but it still is a bummer. It's just like every time, especially in that fashion.
Right.
Even though that couple years Minnesota played outdoors at the Gopher Stadium, but I really enjoyed, like, I enjoyed those teams. And I just like that. I mean, I understand why they don't, but I would like them to.
I think for me, for Packers wise, it's pretty. There's pretty some clear ones. Super Bowl 32. You're younger, you lose the Super Bowl. I mean, that's on there. Being at the NFC Championship game 07-08, that one. Because the reason I bought those tickets, I was for sure thinking we're going to the Super Bowl.
Right, and hey, we don't know about Favre.
Yep, and I'm like, and I remember telling myself, I'm going to see them do the NFC Championship trophy on the field. I want to be there. And that was one of the first times, like, I did not watch ESPN for 2 weeks. I didn't watch anything after the game because I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to get reminded of it. I kept saying I wasn't going to watch Super Bowl. I did.
Yeah.
But, it was one of those things. So that one is definitely up there. It's easily the quietest I've ever been at Lambeau after a game walking out of the stadium. You throw – I wasn't, like, down about Fail Mary. I was just mad. That one wasn't really a heartbreak, the Fail Mary.
Oh, but that was a regular season game.
Yeah,
too. That was just like –
that was just, yeah. But with that is the NFC Championship game.
the Seahawks one.
The Seahawks, the onside kick. And I would even say, I know it's a little bit more of a recency thing here too, but losing those 2 Bears games this year were pretty
in the
stinky.
manner they were.
Yeah.
In the manner they were, where they were, it was kind of goofy. Obviously, it's the 2 big comebacks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
And just the fact that the rivalry has kind of gotten back.
And that's what I would say for a long time about the Bears. It's like, well, who's the Packers' biggest rival? I'm like, and obviously I'm biased as a Vikings fan, but I would say, like, but at least the Vikings-Packer one was competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those teams would trade wins, they would do whatever. The Packers just kicked the Bears' ass every year for so long, and obviously that's not so much the case anymore. So I'm trying to think of the last time that rivalry really had some legitimate juice to it.
Right. Yeah. And then I would just throw, it's not necessarily a game, but I will say it did break my heart to see Favre wearing a Vikings jersey.
Understandable.
That was probably, like, non-game wise, that one was probably like, oh, that one hurts. Yeah. That one really hurts. To kind of wrap it up, anything that's, favorites, joys?
No.
Yeah.
I was going to joke, not really.
08, I will say, for Brewers was.
Yeah,
one.
That was, like, I can't, like, if I was trying to rank, like, the Diamondbacks one was up there. Like, I don't even know how much I can put the Cubs one in there, because that was honestly, this year, that just felt like more relief. Because they were up 2-0, like, oh my gosh, what would have happened if the Brewers would have blown a 2-0 lead to the Cubs? Like, could you, with Craig Counsell's, like, all of these things. Like, when they won that, it was almost more so relief.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Bucks one was fun. I mean, being able to go to one of those NBA final games, going to Game 3 when they started the comeback, that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Penguins ones, I like I said, I enjoyed. Like, I'm more of a Penguins fan than I think you give me credit for. It's just that I don't but I'm trying to think of anything else. I enjoyed the 2012 Badgers Big Ten football championship when they were 7-5 and shouldn't have been there.
Oh, the Nebraska one,
like
and Melvin Gordon.
That's one of my favorite Badger games ever, because they shouldn't have been there, and then they just ran for like 600 yards.
Yeah.
Like, that was the ultimate. We shouldn't be here, but we're here, so we're going to.
Brett Bielema's final game.
Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and kick your ass. Like,
yep.
and the way they did it, were like they barely threw. It was like, for them being exotic, was we're going to run jet sweeps, but it was with Melvin Gordon, so he was just, you couldn't.
Yep.
With him and James White and Monty Ball.
Yep. Yeah.
Robert Derrick, like.
Yeah.
Those were Kirk Phillips is the quarterback. Double knee brace, like late career Stone Cold Steve Austin with the 2 knee braces on. Like that, like, because then that was the year they lost to Stanford. Like, in those 3 Rose Bowls, I mean, it's, at that point, college football is different because, like, your path of crowning a champion's different. Mm-hmm. But, like, I kind of wanted them to get one. Like, the first year they played TCU, that's a close game. I'm sure the Russell Wilson one sticks with them because there's, so many people that would probably say, oh, that was the best Badgers team maybe ever.
Yeah.
When you factor in Russell Wilson and J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt was the year.
That was before. I think it was the year before.
Was it?
Did he get drafted in 2011?
Yes, you're right.
So he was not on that team, but that team was still loaded.
Yep.
But Badgers, Heartbreak. I'm trying to think of. I mean, I guess the one I would say would be the Big Ten title game in 2017 when they were 12-0.
Another Heartbreak we're going now?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, that was one we didn't mention.
Yeah.
Because have they won that, they would have won the Big Ten. Obviously, they would have been in the college football playoffs in the 4-team era.
Yep.
They would have played in the Sugar Bowl, I think, against Clemson. And I was 100% going to that game because I have a friend that lived 6 blocks from the Superdome at that time. Mm-hmm. So we had talked about it beforehand. He goes, if the Badgers play in this game, he goes, you guys are coming down or we're going to this game. It's like, I don't care what it costs. We're going to this game. Like, but unfortunately, that did not happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. 08 Brewers, just because that whole season, and I remember watching the final game and all that sort of stuff. So I would throw that as a big one for my favorites. Did you mention 163? Game 163?
Yeah, no, I didn't. But I mean, I was there.
Yeah, that's why I was
mean,
I just thought of that.
And that was fun. And like, that one it just came together so quick because obviously we didn't know until after the games were done. And, I'm talking with a couple of my friends, like, do we want to go do this? And it's like, well, I can work around my schedule for work. And a friend of mine worked nights. He's like, well, I don't have to work until Monday night. So we could. So it was a planes, trains, and automobiles. We left Eau Claire like 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And we got down there. We parked at the airport. We took the train. And like, we hopped around, and it was fun. And I had fun sitting in the bleachers. Like, at Wrigley, like and I'm always a big believer that in most cases you're treated the way you treated people. And like we were Brewers fans in the Wrigley Field bleachers, but we weren't being jerks to people.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking and all that good stuff, and they were nice back. And afterwards, that was the case. And
yep.
So, but no, that was fun. Like, it was fun. We were literally walking the back way, from center field into Wrigley when the game started. Like, we were literally walking up steps when the first pitch was thrown. So that was interesting. And then afterwards, like before we went to get the bus or the train to come back, like we walked by the Brewers, like their charter bus, and they weren't in there yet, but like fans were out there and they were cheering and stuff. So that was cool too.
Mm-hmm.
It was I'm glad I did it. Like, I'd like to go to Wrigley again one day. I mean, honestly, I think, and maybe just take in I'd like to take in Wrigleyville.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 08-11, the season up until that series against the Cardinals, probably one of my favorites. Game 5 is one of my favorite memories in sports of all time, just being there and such and watching that walk-off victory. I've always said the 2010 season for the Packers is my favorite, not just because they did win the Super Bowl, but I was probably at Lambeau for half those games. And I was there for the last 2 home games too, to see the clinch, to get in, then the return to Titletown, sort of thing. It was my first year out of college, so you're kind of, or second year out of college, so it was like on our own, sort of thing, having adult parties and beverages and stuff. So everything from, we went to family night. I ended up meeting some Packers, a preseason game, so I got to see Peyton Manning play for a half, and I was at and that was the year too that Favre's last game at Lambeau as a Viking.
Yeah, the Sunday night game.
Yep. So I was at that one.
Yeah.
Yep. I was at that one, and just it was such a fun year. That's easily my favorite Packers one of all time. And yes, it ended in heartbreak in those two, but the 14 and 15 Badger basketball teams were so much fun to follow. And then of course the Bucks.
That might be a fun topic of like your favorite sports team years.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, obviously for me, I don't have very many that are going to be, ending with the championship, but like, it doesn't always necessarily have to be this team did super duper well.
Right. So I think we covered it all. Heartbreaks, more heartbreaks probably. But
isn't that life?
Exactly.
Isn't that life?
So
Well, for some of us.
Oh, we hope you enjoyed the conversation. Hey, please email us if you have any topic ideas, questions, good stories, comments, mancavepodmail@gmail.com. Give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and Apple. Also available on YouTube. Just look up Man Cave TV. You can check out the video stream edition of that. But for Brandon, I'm Dan. Again, big thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Man Cave Podcast.